This is my LLM-managed Obsidian Vault. Every single node here and this vault is autonomously managed by an AI agent. I use this to summarize books, super long podcasts, meetings I've been in, and the beauty of doing it in Obsidian is it adds hyperlinks for all the different concepts, people, and things mentioned, and it connects everything into one singular knowledge base. For context, the AI that's powering this is Claude Code, and I made a video going deeper into Claude Code that you can check out if you're interested, but a lot of you guys suggested that I make a video going in depth and showing my Claude Code powered Obsidian Vault, so that's what this video is. I also made a step-by-step installation guide in my channel membership if you're new to Claude Code Obsidian and you want to support the channel, so you can also check that out. But one concern you might have with a setup like this is privacy. So at the end of the video, I'll also share with you the steps I've taken to protect my privacy and also how you can install local private LLMs to do a lot of the tasks here. But first, why do something like this? The reason why you might want to build something like this is because it's a true second brain. It has memory of all the things that you've talked about before, all the things you worked on, every single meeting you've been in or books that you've read, and you can easily ask it questions in natural language in a chat window. And the best part about it is that it just works autonomously once you set it up. This is only going to become more valuable over time, and it also gives us ownership over our own data and things that we've researched on. We can plug this into any AI agent, any open source agent right now or in the future. But yeah, let's get into the setup. So the general organization of my vault is I just have 10 different folders and I have the AI put different notes into different folders. So we have updates, daily notes, meetings, people, projects, research, references, summaries, skills, and places. So the first folder is updates. So in updates, I have two main things. So the first is a daily brief based on my calendar, my email, my messages, and tasks. And it just surfaces the most important things based on a few heuristics that I gave it and some examples I gave it so that I don't have to check my to-do app. I don't have to check my email. I don't have to check my messages. I can just look at this on any device and have a good overview of what are the things that I should focus on or the people that I should respond to. In the last video that I made, a lot of you guys were concerned with having an AI being able to see your messages and your email. And I'm going to talk about that later in the video, but there are a few things that I do to really protect my privacy. First is I only have it have access to my work email, so not my personal email. And second, I also use a combination of Claude Code and local models for the different things in this vault. And this is really saving me a lot of time because I don't have this FOMO of feeling I have to check my messages or my email every few hours or anything like that. It just surfaces the most important things here. So the second one is the daily news. So in the previous one, I had a few different, these are just daily news headlines that are the most important based on the things that I'm interested in on different topics. And they're also in different languages. This also helped me in not having to scroll different feeds just to get news, because previously I would get a lot of news from Twitter or other feeds. And while it is very efficient to get news, especially breaking news on those platforms, there are a lot of things that are kind of just time wasters. So I think this has really helped me in staying up to the news in a much healthier way. So the way that I do this is I just have an AI on a schedule, go through the daily brief and daily news page and update it on a schedule. And it goes through the agent instructions every time of how it should format everything. So for me, I just do it once a day, but you can really do this as frequently as you want. I made this one extension that is pretty useful for this, which is the unread indicator. So when the agent goes and updates a file, there's an unread indicator and you can just click on it and see what it changed. So I'll also link that in the description if you want to install that. Okay, but yeah, let's move on to the second folder. So the second folder is the daily page. So the daily page is the AI's own personal journal. So daily notes are a key feature in Obsidian. Basically, every day that you open up Obsidian, you get a new note with today's day on it that you can use as a diary or a record of things that you've done. And I just have Claude Code update everything that's done every single day. So I have a record of the things that I've worked on with Claude Code, the things that it's summarized, the things that it's researched. And this is pretty helpful because the AI can reference this at any point and it helps it find information much better. And if you want to do something like this, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is tell Claude Code to update its own instructions so that it updates the daily note every time it finishes a different task. This also functions as a log if I want to check its work and make sure it didn't do anything destructive. All right, let's move on to the third folder, meetings. So this is where I have Claude Code take meeting notes. I think meeting notes are one of the most underrated parts of this AI-managed second brain. So with meeting notes, I have a workflow with Claude Code where if I just pass it the recording of a meeting, it will transcribe the entire meeting, it will figure out who's speaking and then create a detailed summary with hyperlinks for different things that we talked about, and also update a rolodex of that person. There are a lot of services that do something like this, but this makes it so that you have one less subscription, and you also own your own meeting notes, because if you use some of those AI meeting note apps, then if you stop paying for them, then you don't have access to your meeting notes anymore. And this also makes it easy for you to look stuff up. If you ever have any questions about things I've talked about with different people that you have recorded in here, you can just ask your Claude Code in plain English and it'll give you an answer. If you wanted to, you could do it all completely offline. So you don't even have to use Claude Code. You can use an open source model and have it transcribe the meeting, summarize it, and add it to Obsidian. And so this is the format that I've come up with, which is basically having like a too long didn't read at the top, and then a summary with the different things that we talked about hyperlinked, and as well as at the bottom, like different quotes or people mentioned. So I'll include the skill if you want to install it to Claude Code or install it to any other AI model that you want to use. All right, the next folder is people. So another thing I have in this AI Second Brain is an automated Rolodex. So every time I have a meeting with a different person, it will create a person note of different things about that person that we talked about. So it's easy for me to reference anything that we've talked about, like all the different meetings and different things that they've mentioned to me before that maybe I'll forget in the future. So I have a people note template that I have Claude Code fill out when it's making a page like this. And it basically puts in their birthday. So it calculates their age. It has a little bio and then the different places that were mentioned in this Obsidian Vault. So I can easily go back and look at it. And I don't only use it for people that I talk to from my different meetings. I also use it for different people that are mentioned in books that I've read or different people I'm studying from. So yeah, this is an example of what it may look like. So for example, this is a person note of this guy who I read his books, and it has his current age, it has like a bio, and also it links to the different notes here. In Obsidian, there's also the graph feature where for every note you can see how it's connected to any other notes in the vault. So that's also interesting to look at. All right, so the next folder is projects. So in projects, I have multiple subfolders for different projects that I've worked on or am working on. And the reason why I have it in the Second Brain is so that Claude will always have context whenever I want to continue picking up on a project. So every time I'm working on this project with Claude Code, I have it make updates to these pages of the brief of like the different things that we changed and the things that we need to work on in the future. So I can take a long break on this project, and the next time I want to pick it up, it can just read this document and the other documents in here, and I can just continue working on it. For example, in the last video, I shared how I made an Anki workflow in Claude Code where it will automatically make Anki cards for me. And I just have the entire flow in here. So if Claude Code ever gets confused, it can just go back here and reference it so it knows exactly what to do. So these are very useful SOPs. And also because of the daily note, it will reference this whenever we make updates to different projects. The next three folders are basically for the same purpose. So research, references, and summaries. So one main thing that I use this Obsidian Vault for is to learn things much faster. And the way that I do that is I have Claude Code take extremely detailed notes for books, podcasts, or videos. Yeah, let me show you an example. So this, I'm a Strange Loop. This is a very dense philosophy book that I read many years ago, and I probably only understood 30% of the entire book. And I wanted to kind of get a refresher and to have a deeper understanding. So I gave it the EPUB file, and then it summarized every single chapter, and every single chapter has hyperlinks towards different concepts that were mentioned in the book. So it makes it much easier for me to understand the book itself without any sort of prerequisite knowledge. So anything I don't understand, I can just click in like this casual potency of collective phenomenon, and I can understand this and go back and understand this entire paragraph. So this is way better than just asking ChatGPT or asking Claude to give you an overview of what this book's about. Like you can't really get a in-depth understanding. So you can see there are chapter by chapter navigation, and even just going through the summary takes maybe 30 minutes, but it's really a lot more efficient than spending 30 hours reading this book. And if I wanted to go and read this entire book right now, I would be able to understand it far better getting this entire overview. So yeah, this is a Claude Code skill that I will link in the description. So if you want to install this, you can do this for any podcast, any book, or any video. One feedback you guys said was that it would use up a lot of tokens. So I am on the higher tier Claude plan, so I pretty much never hit the limit, but I also made a more minimal version of this skill that uses less tokens. The last two folders are skills. So skills, it just has the different Claude Code skills that I've made. And then places are just notes that have references to different places. That's it. Okay, so if you want to set this up in your vault, there are 3 files that you want to make sure you have in the root of your Obsidian vault. So the first is Claude in all caps. So this teaches Claude Code how it should treat your vault. So the way that you want to format your different notes, the different rules that you have, and the different templates that you have. So this will vary based on how you want to set this up. And I'll also share my example one in the description. The second file I have is called agents. So this is a shorter version that has a quick overview of all of the structure of this Obsidian vault. So sub-agents can easily reference this without reading the massive Claude markdown file. And then the third one is a project file that has a overview of all the different projects and links to them. So it just makes it easier for the AI agent to reference them without going and searching through everything. And pretty much just with those files, you can have a completely AI managed Obsidian vault. There's a ton of people doing this now, and there's a lot of useful skills that you can go on different GitHubs and download. For example, one is LLM Wiki made by Andrei Karpathy. He has some pretty useful Obsidian related skills they can download and use with Claude Code or any other agent. There are 2 extensions that I've made for Obsidian if you want to do something like this that has been pretty helpful. The first one I mentioned earlier, which is the unread indicator. I'll also link that. And the second one is a Anki flashcard maker. So a lot of times when I'm reading through the summaries, I actually want to retain the information. And so I made this pretty simple extension in Obsidian where if I just make a highlight on the different pages, that I can make flashcards and it'll just send it to my Anki and I can review them later on in the future. So yeah, if you're studying something and you actually want to remember them long-term, you can try using that out. But one last thing I want to talk about in this video is privacy hygiene. So privacy hygiene is extremely important, especially as AI agents are getting smarter and smarter and they're actually doing stuff on our computers. And it's not really something that you can ignore, because if you ignore it, then it's likely that some AI agent's going to maliciously take over your entire computer. So I'm going to show you what I've done to prevent that and how you can protect your privacy. So the first is local LLMs. All right, so most of this video, I'm talking about Claude Code, which I use in the terminal like this, but it's basically sending any request you ask it to Anthropic servers, and it may be stored there for a while and it may be used for training. So you might not want to do that for very sensitive meetings or sensitive messages, but you can install open source models, which depending on your computer can be just as powerful for certain tasks. And if you want to do that, I would recommend you check out the app called LLM Studio. It's totally free, but you can search for open source models. You can download it based on where your computer runs. And then you can easily have these tasks be done with these local models, or you can just chat with them in this app. Open source models, even a year ago, were pretty much useless for doing anything, but for certain limited tasks, they are just as good as the main models that you have to pay for. So yeah, I would recommend you check out these private LLMs. So the second thing that I do is isolation. So if you're going to connect your email to Claude Code, I would recommend having separate emails, like only connecting an email that you would be okay with an AI agent reading through. So for me, I don't connect my personal email that I have connected to my banking, only my work emails. I've also taken this further, and I have a separate laptop that I barely have any apps on, and it's not connected to the internet most of the time, because there is a chance that these AI agents could hack this entire computer and go through all my files. So I think that's just something to be aware of when you are using any sort of AI agents. The third thing you can do if you're concerned about privacy is you can use the API instead of the subscription. So for Anthropic, if you use their API, they have much more stringent rules when it comes to training on your data and retaining your data. So with the API, they only keep your data for a week and they don't train on it. Whereas they may do that if you're just on the regular subscription. The only downside is that you're going to be spending way more on the API. The fourth thing that you can do to protect your privacy is to make sure that you're limiting the scope. So don't give it access to everything. Don't let it have the ability to send messages. Like by default, that's off. And probably don't turn that on, because you could get prompt injected and your AI agent might be sending information to other people without you knowing. That's why you should also use frontier models, because the dumber the models are, the more likely that they can easily be tricked. But with that being said, for me personally, I use a mixture between local models and frontier models. And I think that really gives me the best balance in managing this Obsidian Vault. Recently, I have been getting into self-hosting. So I also have a pretty extensive private LLM setup if I ever wanted to completely disconnect from all these subscriptions. So if you're interested in that, let me know and maybe I can make a video about that. But I'll see you in the next video. Let's get it.